Hi and welcome to this new video, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Dominator combat quad and just give you a bit of an overview of that and some of the stats and things that are displayed with it. So if we just go to multiplayer, and I've already got the Dominator selected. If you haven't got the Dominator on your workbench, then you can go to add quad and it's right at the top. That is assuming that you have bought the premium content for combat, because this is not part of the sim by default. You have to buy it as a premium update. If you have got the Dominator and you've added it, then when you first add it, your screen will look like this. So basically you'll have the details of the quad here and the various settings which you can edit, and then up here you'll have some details about your current level and some statistics about how you're doing in the game, and then down here there's a skins button for changing the skins. So this is the default quad that you get for combat, and we've specifically designed all the maps and tracks around this particular quad, so its performance, its size, and the way and its maneuverability. All the maps are kind of based around that. The reason the Dominator is a big kind of beast class style quad is because for combat you need to be able to see other quads, and 5 inches and whoops and that kind of thing are really quite hard to see. Whereas a nice big beast class quad is quite easy to see and spot. However, I would give you a couple of tips. One, turn on trails when you're flying combat, because that makes it much easier to see where other players are, and also make sure you turn on the reticule or the HUD so that you've got something to aim with. In terms of the data that's displayed on the screen here, you have an insignia which is linked to my level. So I'm level 14 and this is the insignia with level 14. This is my XP bar that you can see here. So I just put it there so you can see the extent of it. So when this blue gets to the end, I'll become level 15 and I'll basically get another skin that I can add to my quad. This is the default skin and the default turret that you see here at the moment. Then underneath here you've got my kills, deaths, my kill death ratio, my wins and my losses, and you can see it's not a pretty story at the moment. I've been having a bit of a rough time. More deaths than kills, lower than 1 kill death ratio, and more losses than wins. Let's just say some of the beta testers are pretty good at combat. Okay, so in terms of what you get for your XP, that's all under the skins button. So when you press the skins button, you get your turrets, and these are unlocked every 7 levels. So the default one, which is on here at the moment, you get by default. Then this is level 7, 14, 21, 28 and 35 for leveling up. And to get extra turrets, so I can put another turret on here so you can see another different turret there, and you also get 1 skin per level. This is the default skin, and you can change your skins as well, and the skins get more and more crazy the higher you go in the levels, and of course there are a bunch that are blacked out that I haven't got to yet, but you can see how some of these are kind of quite cool looking skins. So you can customize your quad as you level up, and for every level you get a skin, and then for every 7 levels you get a turret. Okay, so let's now jump into the game, and we'll just run a hidden session here, and we'll just use battle bases and deathmatch. Grab my transmitter. Okay, so first of all we just have a look at the Dominator line of sight so you can kind of get a feel for it. Now you see this red smoke that's coming off of here. This basically means that I'm just a joined player and I'm not in the game. So whenever you see a quad with red smoke coming off of it, it could be someone who's joined during the game, and therefore they're not someone you want to try and shoot because they've got the red flare going on, and that just means they're not currently part of any game. So that's why that smoke's coming off me. I'm not currently part of any game that's been started. Now the moment I start a game, get the countdown.
3, 2, 1.
Now you'll see I've got a little HUD in the middle here for aiming. There are 2, so if you press H you can switch to the other one. We may well add more of these, but there are 2 currently, and you can choose which one you like. And if I now go to line of sight mode, you can see that red smoke has stopped, so that means I am now definitely in the game and playing, and you can kind of see what the Dominator looks like here with its skin, and you'll be able to see all the other players' skins and turrets and all that kind of stuff as well. So that gives you an idea of what the Dominator looks like. In terms of how it flies, it has the flight characteristics of a Beta 75 Pro type quad, you know, a 75 sized whoop. And the reason we do that is that for combat to work, you don't want your quad to be too fast. Slower quads makes for much better battles and more fun. So we slowed the Dominator right down, so it's not that quick. You can see at top speed I'm only doing 45 mile an hour, something like that. Obviously you can go faster than that with speed ups and things like that, with power ups that are on the map here, so you can get more up towards 70 mile an hour on a speed up, but generally most of the time you're in the 40-45 mile an hour when you're playing combat, and that is absolutely on purpose, because the best combat is with slower, bigger quads, which is why we've made the bigger, slower quad. In terms of the maneuverability, it has fantastic maneuverability. You can really, you know, spin around stuff. It's really quite maneuverable. It's not like flying an actual beast class quad. It is very maneuverable quad, which makes it really quite suited to flying combat. The other thing to bear in mind is that this is real. I mean, there are real flight dynamics on this quad. It's not like playing combat is, you know, some kind of arcade version of flying. It's real flying, based on kind of Beta 75 type quads, and the Dominator responds very much in that way, like you were flying a small quad. Also, it's full acro, so I'm not flying in angle mode for this, and to be successful in combat you've got to be really good at freestyle, and you've also got to be really good at racing. So it actually brings both skills together, because you need to be able to kind of go in and fly between things like this and fly back out again, which is kind of a racing type skill, flying a line, getting in and out quickly. But when you get into combat, you start doing all this kind of spinning around and, you know, this kind of stuff, and that kind of freestyle awareness becomes really important to being successful in dogfights. So it actually brings both worlds together, racing and freestyle, which is really quite unique. And just to show you this HUD, when the HUD is on, you can see it fires exactly where the HUD is pointing, right in the middle of the screen. The other thing to bear in mind that these missiles are not instant hit. They have a travel time. You can see that it takes a while for it to reach the destination, so you have to lead targets when you're playing combat. You can't just aim directly at someone and expect to hit them unless you're directly behind them. If they're travelling sideways, you've got to aim in front of them in order to score your hit and kill. So that's the other thing to bear in mind. So that's the Dominator, the skin system, the XP system. Something you'll get at the end of a match, and this is the scoreboard. You press tab or P to get this. At the end of the match it will show you your kills, deaths and hits, and an overall score, and it will also award you XP based on how you've done. So whether you've been a good offensive player, whether you've been a good defensive player, whether you're the MVP, the high scoring player in the game, how many people you've killed, how many times you've died, all these things contribute to how much experience you'll get in a match. So if you're very successful in a match, you get more experience. If you're not so successful in a match, you get less experience. So that's the XP side of things, and this match should finish in the next 10 seconds or so, and you should see at the bottom here, it'll actually, when it ends, it will just flash up the scoreboard and you'll see the XP at the bottom.
Victory!
And because this is a single player match, in other words I didn't play against anyone else, it actually hasn't awarded any XP at all. So you can't just level up on your own, not playing, just by running a match and flying around. You actually do have to fly against someone else. But had I flown against someone else and there'd been some scores here, then down the bottom here there would be a bar that shows your current XP, how much you've got to get in order to get to the next level, and what you've been awarded and why in terms of your XP, which will all be down the bottom here. I just forgotten that in a single player game like this it doesn't actually pop that up. Okay, so that's it. That's the Dominator. Hope it's explained, you know, why it is the way it is and why we've designed it the way we have. And this is through months and months of gameplay that we've come up with. This is the best kind of format for really fun combat sessions. And yeah, and hopefully everyone enjoys it as much as we and the beta testers have in running it all. Okay, that's it, and I'll see you on the next level.